"Don't judge a book by its cover," is something we've all been told by our elders at one point or the other. These 30 examples demonstrate that it is especially true when dealing with the wrong offenders.
Sorry. Parkour.
From daring escapes to creative moves, these law enforcement interactions will make you wonder who is truly in command. Here are 30 times police officers messed with the wrong criminals. Number 30. Man runs away from police. In a remarkable turn of events in Mumbai, India, a Nigerian man escaped from Indian police custody during an operation. The situation transpired as officers attempted to apprehend and arrest the suspect. However, in an impressive display of speed and strength, the man wrenched free from the officer's hands and raced away. The power of his getaway knocked the police officer to the ground during the battle. Despite the attempts of the other cops to regain control of the situation, the perpetrator evaded capture and fled into the busy streets. Number 29. Parkour escape. In the urban jungle of New York City, a parkour enthusiast is involved in a dangerous chase with the NYPD. He is immediately confronted with approaching officers. His unusual actions arouse their suspicions. They confront him, questioning his presence in what they believe to be a prohibited area. The parkour enthusiast quickly explains his harmless quest for athletic challenges in urban environments. But before the cops can intervene, he flees, performing a sequence of incredible parkour moves to avoid them.
Sorry. Parkour.
With adrenaline racing, he leaps from seemingly unfathomable heights, landing elegantly on a nearby stairwell, leaving the officers startled. With a rebellious gesture, he vanishes into the bustling New York City crowd, a whirl of courage and ability. However, as spectacular as his escape is, it serves as a reminder that such perilous pursuits should be pursued with caution, for luck is not always on one side. Number 28. Unaware policeman. In a situation where one would expect the police force to demonstrate keen intellect, a bunch of officers bumble miserably, allowing a suspect to slip through their clutches in a humorously amateurish manner. Their aim was to apprehend a suspect attempting to gain entry into a home. Despite the secured door and the suspect's refusal to cooperate, they failed to detect the impending escape. Despite the apparent warning flags, the cops continue to investigate. Breaking into the house, they all rush in, unaware of the suspect's ingenuity. The culprit evades them in seconds by dropping from a window above and escapes. The lack of strategic planning and oversight calls into doubt the officials' ability. Number 27. Daring jump. In a frantic attempt to flee the following police, a suspect becomes stranded on the 4th story of a building. With no other options, he throws himself out the window. The daring jump sends him down to the earth, where he lands on the grass with a thump. Quickly regaining his calm, he rushes into the surrounding woods, disappearing from view. Moments later, the perplexed cops emerge from the building, their features revealing their surprise at the suspect's daring escape. Their motions and shared glances show their surprise at how he was able to outmaneuver them with such bold methods. Number 26. Scooter escape. A high-speed chase begins as cops pursue a scooter down the road. The scooter driver appears to have no way out, but suddenly he executes a trick so unique that even the authorities are impressed. He turns onto a side street with surprising ease, enticing the officers to follow. Instead of continuing down the street, he makes a quick loop around a car and re-enters the same road, leaving the cops stunned. Their astonished expressions roar as they try to understand what has just happened, briefly halting their chase. This maneuver is so impressive that it draws the chase to a complete standstill, demonstrating the driver's cunning evasion methods. Number 25. Escaping by drifting. The police had trapped a sports automobile, leaving the culprit with no apparent escape route. 3 police cars surrounded him, making the situation appear dire. But suddenly, like a scene from the Need for Speed game, the driver executed an astonishing maneuver, drifting. He guided the automobile through the tiny area between the police trucks, eluding arrest at every step. As the cops strained to keep up, the spectators were treated to a display of magnificent drifts. It was a lesson in evasion as the guy outmaneuvered the cops, demonstrating his mastery of the art of drifting to the surprise of everyone watching. Number 24. Parachute escape. With a parachute strapped on, he defies the authorities by attempting to scale a bridge in their midst. Ignoring their cautions, he persists, determined to take the leap. Even when confronted by a cautious police officer, he remains unfazed and continues his daring conduct. Surprisingly, the officer did not intervene, possibly because he knew any interference would aggravate the situation. As the man safely reaches the shore, the cops remain silent, not attempting to pursue him. Their calm demeanor raises eyebrows, leaving observers intrigued by the developing events. It's a perplexing sight, prompting one to speculate about the circumstances of this daring escape. Number 23. Under the car. In a thrilling chase, police apprehended 4 criminals who escaped their car and scattered on foot. They initially separated but eventually reassembled, each attempting to avoid capture. One suspect chose to hide under a black SUV in an attempt to disguise himself. Despite his efforts, the cops eventually noticed him and arrested him. The other 3 individuals were apprehended and placed into custody. However, the ultimate suspect remained elusive and hidden from view. Not known to him, an LAPD helicopter monitored the situation and tracked his every move. As officers passed by the SUV, ignorant of his presence, the helicopter transmitted his location to ground units. It took some time, but with the helicopter's assistance, the police eventually found and caught the offender, ending the spectacular chase. Number 22. Dramatic car chase. In a dramatic sequence of events, a suspect stole a Tundra SUV, resulting in a high-speed chase with police. After fleeing into the desert, the suspect crashed the stolen vehicle. Undeterred, he continued on foot over the rugged terrain, desperate to avoid capture. In a frantic attempt to leave, he seized a parked California highway patrol cruiser. Despite successfully dodging some chasing police cars, the suspect's luck ran out when his cruiser became stuck. Recognizing the hopelessness of additional attempts to flee, he surrendered to law enforcement. With the culprit apprehended, the intensive pursuit concluded, demonstrating law enforcement organizations' persistence and joint efforts to arrest those who strive to flee justice. Number 21. Strange chase. The actions of a police officer during a furious pursuit are unexpected. He looks unfit for the chase and struggles to keep up with the suspect, letting him escape it quickly. Await the unexpected just when you believe you've seen it all.
Oh, thanks God you saved both.
Instead of continuing the pursuit, the cop makes an odd turn. He backs off his harness and attends to something private. You did indeed read that right. In a startling turn of events, he squats on the ground and takes off his trousers as if taking care of business at that very moment. A calm demeanor follows this unconventional pause as he throws off his dirty socks and uses them to wipe himself. Resuming his tasks as if nothing unusual had happened, he puts his harness back on and his shoes back on. It's a perplexing demonstration of nonconformist conduct in the face of obligation. Number 20. Young boy escapes police. A police officer sent to catch adolescent riders finds himself pursuing a young biker in a heated confrontation. Tension rises as the youngster tries to escape while the cop brandishes a baton. The expert motorcyclist outmaneuvers the pursuing cops, outwitting them despite the intimidating presence of the officer. The little boy's behaviors throughout the chase indicate a sense of urgency, possibly realizing the seriousness of the situation. His cries for forgiveness suggest that he is starting to realize the possible repercussions of his conduct. The scene, which bystanders applaud, captures the conflict between youth and authority and emphasizes the difficulties that law enforcement and young people have when navigating the streets. Number 19. Persuading police. In an odd twist of events, a prison escapee manages to persuade a doubting police officer that he's just jogging. The careful cop, Carl Borden, questions the purported runner and senses something is awry despite the convincing show. Suspicion persists, but the escapee, posing as Robert Jones, eludes discovery of evidence that could implicate him. Surprisingly, the escapee's identity unexpectedly changes to Jimmy Jones during the exchange, a detail the unaware police officer misses. The police officer, who has trouble trusting people, unintentionally lets the escapee go despite the intensive questioning. But after the breakout, the truth comes to light. Richard Lee McNair, the real escapee, escaped to Canada, leaving behind a puzzled police officer and a trail of mystery. This strange experience highlights the difficulties in enforcing the law and the guile of those who try to avoid punishment. Number 18. Mustang versus police. In an attempt to make the police laugh, a Mustang purposefully sped past them, provoking them to pursue. The suspect would dart away from the police with every near encounter, drawing them into a never-ending cycle of pursuit and evasion. The Mustang engaged in a thrilling game of cat and mouse for around 2 minutes, obviously enjoying the quest. After a while, the police car was left far behind as the Mustang drove off, clearly satisfied with his antics. It soon became clear that the Mustang's speed and agility were simply unmatched by the police car, demonstrating the car's dominance in this makeshift race. Number 17. White Impala escape. The police were searching for a white Impala that they thought may have broken some traffic laws. To make matters worse, it was reversed when they found the automobile. A policeman tried to stop it from behind, but the culprit moved deftly and got away without being apprehended. The offender quickly changed course and left the police in his wake, eluding their numerous attempts to corner the Impala. The Impala's speed proved to be too much for the cops to handle as they pursued it for some time. The automobile eventually disappeared from view and was never found. The officers tried to stay up, but they were unable to match the Impala's quick moves and had to give up. Number 16. Cat and mouse. A bunch of thrill-seekers enjoyed their audacious adventure on a typical day when they found themselves atop a massive skyscraper. But as soon as they noticed a flicker of light from a security officer's torch below, their excitement swiftly gave way to fear. They did not hesitate to divide into 2 groups and race to the closest exit, the excitement of adventure giving way to the fear of being pursued. The security guards' cries for help reverberated around them as they dashed through the stairway, turning the chase into a thrilling race against the clock. Every step they took was met with the sound of the onslaught trailing them. They made the wise decision to split, hoping to deflect the attention of their assailants. The cops were unaware that this was the turning point in the chase when it became an exciting game of cat and mouse. Against all odds, the 2 avoided being apprehended and vanished into the city maze. Number 15. Hit and run. A typical patrol by an NYPD officer occurred in the middle of New York City's busy streets. But then a simple traffic stop turned into a terrifying event, and what had started out as an ordinary day swiftly became extraordinary. The policeman had to enforce the law and motioned for the driver of a BMW that was spewing thick plumes of black smoke to pull a stop. As the officer approached, he anticipated the standard license and registration process. But what followed was different from your typical scenario. The driver suddenly accelerated, taking the officer by surprise instead of complying. In a startling turn of events, the escaping car struck the officer as it raced off. Unfazed, the officer began a pursuit with other NYPD officers to catch the offender. Despite their best attempts, the automobile managed to maneuver through traffic and escape detection at a pace that eluded the authorities, leaving them reeling from the unanticipated turn of events. Number 14. Daring escape attempt. Knight, a 30-year-old man wearing a brown jacket, appeared at the courthouse for a hearing on narcotics possession allegations. Not known to him, an outstanding arrest warrant hung over his head, giving an unexpected twist to his day. Taking advantage of an opportunity during the court proceedings, Knight sneaked out of the courtroom just as deputies approached to grab him. Knight arrived at the elevator's ground-level doors just as they opened, perfectly timing his exit. After assessing the situation, he made a split-second choice to run, avoiding capture as he raced through the exit and into the street. The pursuit heated up as Knight sped towards the exit, navigating security checkpoints. Despite his gallant efforts, a deputy caught up with him and brought him down with a quick tackle. Surrounded by interested bystanders, Knight was charged with impeding an officer and received a 1-year suspended sentence after pleading guilty and consenting to probation terms. Number 13. Courthouse escape. The suspect expertly moved through the structure, heightening the intensity of the chase. In a bold attempt to avoid capture, they demonstrated a thorough awareness of their surroundings and avoided the pursuing officers. In a desperate attempt to arrest the elusive criminal, a police officer leaped, landing on their back during the chase on the stairway. As the cop lay injured and paralyzed, the stairwell became a brief battleground. Despite their wounds, the officer battled to restore control while the suspect used every opportunity to flee. In this high-stakes chase, every move was critical, emphasizing the unwavering tenacity of both the fleeing culprit and the pursuing cop. Number 12. Motorcycle escape. The White Settlement Police Department is currently looking for a biker who turned the streets into his personal racetrack. With a dislike for simple escapes, this thrill-seeking rider led the cops on a frantic trip, keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. In a daring move, the rider planned a dangerous chase, straining the limits of thrill. Just when it appeared that the situation couldn't get much worse, he injected even more adrenaline into the pursuit by performing a full-circle maneuver. This unexpected revelation intensified the already thrilling chase. As the quest progresses, the police remain attentive, determined to arrest the daring rider and restore order on the streets. However, with each twist and turn, the chase gets more unpredictable, demonstrating the rider's daring. Number 11. Two bikes vs. police. As two men rode their sports bikes through the morning streets, enjoying the fresh air, the peace was broken by the blaring siren of an oncoming police cruiser. Realizing they were now involved in a high-stakes police chase, the bikers wasted no time in beginning a pursuit that promised to escalate quickly. With fast bikes and complex maneuvers, they transformed the peaceful morning into a heart-pounding adventure, pushing their machines to their limits. The chase took unexpected turns through the awakening metropolis as the bikers outsmarted the cops. Finding refuge in a big warehouse, they stowed their bikes, thereby disappearing from law enforcement's radar and leaving them perplexed in their pursuit. This adrenaline-fueled adventure transformed a typical morning into an incredible thrill ride. Number 10. 1 out of 2. In a chilling testimony from Barbara, an attempted escape occurred amid a police pursuit. A person from Conham found himself in a dangerous scenario after allegedly attempting a burglary in the region. As the police pursued the fleeing vehicle, the suspects made a daring jump out of the moving car. Moments later, the driver lost control and the vehicle flipped over. Despite the wild sequence of events, investigators apprehended 2 of the 3 suspects and took them into custody. However, the 3rd suspect evaded capture by running into the adjacent woods. This tragic occurrence emphasizes the dangers of criminal activity and police enforcement's unwavering commitment to seek justice. Number 9. Timber-loaded truck escapes. In a bold maneuver near Rondonia's principal frontier of illegal logging expansion, a group of illicit loggers hindered police activities in KBIM, located in the state's northern part. The incident occurred when authorities sought to pursue a timber-loaded truck. The video shows loggers impeding the passage of a police car on a rural road. It depicts a timber-loaded truck driving down the road accompanied by a convoy of automobiles that prevents the Environmental Battalion's police vehicle from following. This bold behavior exemplifies the difficulties authorities confront in combating illegal logging activities and highlights the arrogance of people involved in such unlawful operations. Number 8. Turkish escape. The suspect, brought to the Istanbul courthouse for trial, unexpectedly escapes while surrounded by police, prompting a real-life chase through the streets. Despite being handcuffed, the suspect demonstrates incredible bravery as they cross the metropolitan environment. As the chase progresses, police resort to warning bullets in an attempt to stop the fleeing culprit. Remarkably, the shackled guy outruns the pursuing officers, weaving through Istanbul's crowded streets. In a startling twist, people join the chase, increasing the intensity. This dramatic occurrence demonstrates the unpredictability of law enforcement situations and the willingness of both authorities and people to arrest a fleeing culprit, even in the most challenging circumstances. Number 7. Right through bars. On October 10th, a daring escape occurred from the temporary detention center of the Isik ARA District Police Station. The man in question was not your typical inmate. He was suspected of theft. The cops patrolled an unsecured area rather than closely following the suspect, which was a surprising twist. And you won't believe it. He didn't even try to flee. He merely passed by gently, avoiding capture without fleeing. This sequence of events is both perplexing and disturbing, raising doubts about the efficacy of security measures and emphasizing the need for increased vigilance in law enforcement processes. Number 6. Neighborhood escape. Prepare for a crazy police pursuit right in a suburban backyard. In this engaging film, a local hero who knows the city like the back of his hand leads us on a thrilling excursion. As these guys travel across the city, soaking in the vibes, the tranquil atmosphere is abruptly broken by the unmistakable sound of police sirens. The atmosphere swings from excellent to adrenaline as the cops enter high gear, hot on our guy's trail. The fact that our protagonist resides in this metropolis adds to the video's appeal. He knows every nook, cranny, and shortcut like the back of his hand. It's more than just a pursuit. It's a game of wits set amid recognizable streets and alleyways. Each bend and twist pulls him closer to freedom in a thrilling ballet of sirens and roaring engines. Number 5. Chaotic chase. Witness the adrenaline-fueled clip from Navajosu, in which a bold guy in a white automobile pulls off an unbelievable escape from the police. But wait, this isn't your usual pursuit. It's a breathtaking motorcycle chase. The streets of Navajosu come alive as the white automobile refuses to submit to police control. However, the plot thickens when a motorcycle police joins the chase, adding a new dimension of excitement. It's a chaotic scenario with everyone on the edge of their seats. Massive respect is given to the motorcycle officer's riding abilities as he deftly navigates the twists and curves, accurately chasing the white automobile. Then comes the unexpected twist. The driver of the white car, demonstrating daring, removes his shoes and goes barefoot through the woods. Regardless of the unorthodox decision, his determination is evident. Number 4. Heated pursuit. Watch the thrilling story of Apracao de Risco, in which a routine police operation takes an unexpected twist. As the cops arrive, mayhem follows, resulting in a rush and a high-speed chase involving a brave couple. Amid the Opera Cisco commotion, the most shocking thing happens when the woman bravely jumps off the moving motorcycle, paving the way for a stunning turn of events. As the pursuit heats up, a bystander, seemingly rooting with the fleeing pair, attempts the unthinkable, knocking down a police officer. It's a risky maneuver that adds a new level of drama to the already thrilling chase. The escalating drama keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, demonstrating the unpredictability and severity of the scenario. Number 3. Nissan tricks police. In a thrilling chase, a Nissan Altima loses a tire and its bumper but somehow crosses the state border. As the car approaches the road, emergency lights and sirens are triggered to catch up. When the driver reaches the suspect's vehicle, he ignores instructions to stop over and accelerates away. The suspect then does an evasive maneuver, quickly crossing all 3 westbound traffic lanes and navigating between vehicles at speeds surpassing 104 miles per hour. Despite losing its bumper and tire, the Altima maintains its speed, eluding capture and continuing its dangerous adventure over state lines. The daring attempt to escape and high-speed chase keeps the viewers on the edge of their seats until the whole ordeal finally comes to an end. Number 2. Outsmarting the system. This intriguing film shows an escape from a temporary detention center in the Republic of Tua. The escape artist has other ideas at a supposed secure location. Outwitting the system, they made a spectacular escape that perplexed everyone and scratched their heads. The audacity of their approach has aroused much debate and doubt. This real-life incident serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of life and how unforeseen situations can develop even in the most seemingly secure surroundings. The remarkable escape has undoubtedly piqued the interest of many, demonstrating that life has a habit of delivering curveballs when we least expect them. Number 1. Suspect escapes 2 police cars. In this thrilling police chase, the suspect demonstrates exceptional escape abilities, outwitting not 1, but 2 efforts by law enforcement. The scene takes place amid holiday light traffic on an otherwise peaceful week. The culprit makes hairpin maneuvers through traffic, impressing the pursuing cops with their talent. Despite the officer's unrelenting pursuit, the culprit refuses to go down quickly, confronting them at every turn. This high-speed chase raises concerns about the suspect's true nature and the threat they pose. It's a high-stakes dance between law enforcement and the suspect, with each step carefully planned. As the pursuit progresses, it becomes evident that this is no ordinary chase, but rather a fascinating test of ability and resolve on both sides.